Welcome to Grenza Games. This is our first video in a short series on our rules at Lance's Point. I'm going to start at the beginning of the rules and work my way through them steadily, but each video I hope will be around about 5 to 6 minutes long. Not too long, not too boring either, hopefully. So first of all, at the very start of the rules we have what constitutes formations, units and bases. Obviously that there is a single base of troops. It changes obviously, but a base of skirmishers, a base of heavy cavalry, or in this case medium cavalry. We have a base of irregular foot, 5 figures to a base, not the 6 figures to a base that the ordered foot of the Roman army has. So a base, or several bases, make up a unit. So here we have a 4 base unit, another 4 base unit here of auxiliary infantry, and over here a 6 base unit of Syrian archers. I'll just nudge that into the picture a bit more. There we go. After that we have what constitutes a formation. At the start of the game, each grouping of units in your army has to be under the command of a single officer, and that constitutes his formation. Now with the Romans, they have a flexible command system which allows each of the units to be up to 10 inches away from their commander and still in command. The importance of that is, if a unit is disordered or unformed, they can't reorder if they're out of command. They become isolated if they're out of command, which requires a morale test at the start of every turn to see if they rout or not. And they can't have the all-important cards played on them if they are out of command. So being in command is a major focus of the game. It's also one of the things your opponent is often trying to disrupt for you, is how your forces are commanded. For instance, if there is a screen of skirmishers between the commander here and his auxiliary, an enemy screen of skirmishers, that isolates them. They have to test at the start of each turn then to see if they run away. They also can't have the cards put on them. So it's a major sort of part of the tactical to and froing in the game. After formations we have something else which is kind of important, which is the concept of support. So let's just push these guys out of the way, they'll be back in a second. Oh, stepping back a second, that was describing flexible command. An inflexible command would be such as the Celts, the Dark Age stuff, or early medieval for the correct phrase. Most things, believe it or not, come under the heading of inflexible command. So an inflexible command, each of the bases need to be touching, and the one of the bases will have a commander either in the rear rank or in the front rank, and they must have, or each base then must have a connected line to the base that contains a commander. If there is a base out, he's isolated, he has to test it at the start of each turn, see if he runs away. Same as if there's a unit out. The 10-inch command radius doesn't count anymore for an inflexible command. It's mostly across most periods. We start getting to the Crusades, potentially some of the early medieval stuff. Troops are going to nearly always be in this formation. An exception to that is skirmishers. So a unit of skirmishers is always allowed to be up to 1 skirmish movement away from their parent unit. This allows them a great degree of flexibility, obviously. It also allows, with a flexible command, the unit to be even further from their HQ, from their commander, because they only need to be their skirmish movement from a unit that's in command. So they could be over on a flank, and they could be, well, for infantry it's 8-inch movement, so they could be 8 inches from these archers, who in turn could be 10 inches from their commander. It gives you, like, quite a large footprint for a formation then, if you can stop your opponent from punching holes or punching gaps into it. So moving on, now to the support. I'll leave them there. A rear base, or a base lined up directly behind another base, is in support, and that applies to every single base lined up behind that lead base. Why is this important? Casualties, quite often. I'll move back to the archers in a second. There's an important rule there for them as well. For the front base, each base can take 8 casualties. So if the front base takes 7 casualties in one attack, you don't want them to be attacked again with 7 casualties, because they'll die. So you can shuffle the casualties back to all or any of the supporting bases, which means against a Celtic horde, which can be quite deep, they can be up to sort of like 8 bases in depth sometimes, actually killing a base at the front can be very difficult, as they keep siphoning the casualties back and effectively pushing more guys to the front. But with, as you'd expect with the Celts, you start to get any base losses on them, or even hit their morale limit on casualties, and they're probably going to go run away. Whereas these guys are going to stand and fight for longer. What else is there about support? Some situations, we'll use these guys here. These guys are what are called Spear 1, or single rank spear troops. Single rank spear troops fight as a shield wall, so they have a bonus to their armour when you attack them from the front. If they were Greeks, or even Macedonians, which are Spear 2 and Pike 2, meaning how many ranks fight, then the rear rank as well as the front rank could fight in melee combat. If you add in more ranks behind that, they can't fight in the combat, but any casualties caused on this rank can be, again, siphoned to the back or to the rear bases and maintain the integrity and combat ability of the front ranks. It's an important rule. There's a lot of unit maintenance in this game, and it's an integral part of it as you try to sort of spread out and eke out the casualties that you suffer. Now, the next important point about support is with missile troops. Here you have 3 ranks of troops. The front rank can shoot at close, long and extreme range. The middle rank can shoot at long and extreme range, and the last, or the rear rank here, can only shoot at extreme range. That's sort of an important feature of the game, for the simple fact, if I were to put them in support of the Romans, because only supporting units can do this, these 2 ranks will be able to shoot at extreme range ahead of those troops there. They can't do anything because they aren't able to shoot at that point. This allows for troops to be supported. If I get rid of this rank here, and these troops to be supported, and for these guys to continue to rain shots over the lines. Now, that's with archers. With javelin, like these velites here have, guys with throwing weapons can throw from here have some enemy forces for them to explain what's going on a bit better. So these are now in support of these infantry. This rank may throw javelins into this rear rank over here. You can never engage the front ranks, which are actually engaged in melee. So in supporting fire, these guys can shoot into these ranks here. These guys who are too far away for the javelin throw can't engage at all. I think that pretty much covers support and unit formations. 10.5 minutes, not too bad. So guys, if you want to hear more about the rules, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, you know all the stuff to do, and I will follow this up with more videos very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.